Okay. Hello and welcome. And as always, welcome to the aftermarket analysis session. Here, we look at the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty after they close. Where buying happened, where selling occurred, where buyers showed interest, where sellers showed interest, and what confirmation the footprint provided. And basically, we try to read the footprint well. If you are new and want to learn order flow, want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, you can join this live session every day at 4:45. The link for this live session is uploaded to the GoCharting Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. And if you are using GoCharting, a notification is also available in the top right corner. As soon as you click on it, you will find the link for the live session. GoCharting is launching its YouTube channel in every language. So if you are new, if you are comfortable with the Arabic language, comfortable with Spanish, then the link to GoCharting's YouTube channel in every language is in the description. Go there, join, and videos have already started being uploaded on those channels. Currently, GoCharting has a holy offer going on, which is a 30% top. On every annual subscription of GoCharting, you will get a 30% top until the 7th of April. On every annual subscription. So now let's see what kind of movement came in Nifty. Plus before that, let's take a look at the volume profile to see what confirmations there are. From yesterday's volume profile for yesterday's session. This is yesterday's volume profile, and its volume node has been marked. If this breaks, then it's the previous day's volume node. Simply the previous day's volume nodes. Alright. And yesterday, Nifty closed here. So this level is the swing high level of the volume profile. As it closed here. If we look at the previous one, see here, a volume node has emerged from the past few sessions, plus there is a confirmation of a swing high in the volume profile here. So let's go to the 5-minute chart. Switch to the footprint and see where buyers were visible today and what was observed about the sellers. The tick size for Nifty is 180. For Bank Nifty, you can use above 400, and for equities, the higher the price, the larger the tick size. For example, if something is priced at 500, you can set it to 5. If there's an equity where the price of one share is 5,000, you can set it to 100 or 200 there. You can keep it around 100. You can set it to 50. The higher the price, the larger the tick size. Simple. Okay. Now to read the footprint well, you need to know about delta. Now, what is delta? Delta simply tells us the difference between buyers and sellers. Let's take the first candle. Okay, the first candle. What is the delta of this first candle? It's around 148,000. And this is a green delta. Okay, meaning it's a positive delta. It's in the green box. And the second value, there's no negative sign in front of the 148K. So it means this is a positive delta. Positive delta always denotes buyers. So positive delta, who will it denote? Buyers. And what is the delta? 148,000, meaning 1,48,000. In the first candle, there were around 1,48,000 more buyers compared to sellers. Simply, there were 148,000 more buyers as compared to sellers, meaning in the first candle, assume there were 100,000 sellers, while there were 248,000 buyers here. So what was the difference? 148,000. The same delta showed us here. Let's look at any one candle. What is the delta of this candle? Around 62,000. In the red box, there's a plus and minus sign, which means a negative delta always denotes sellers. This means there are 62,000 more sellers within this candle as compared to buyers. Simply put, there would be 162,000 sellers, while there would only be 100,000 buyers. Who is more? There are more sellers. How many more? The delta tells us here. What do we see from this delta? Every candle is flying below in front of us. If you look at this candle, without the delta, I wouldn't be able to tell who is more powerful. But as soon as I see the delta values, it shows that the buyers are powerful. If I look at this, then I look at its delta. Is it more sellers? As soon as we look at each candle, we can tell who is more powerful, the buyer or the seller of that candle. So what we will do now is read the delta first, then the footprint. First, we will read the delta, then we will read the footprint. Now if we look at the delta, there are some candles with a delta around 100,000, 60,000, so we consider both deltas. Positive, negative. Again, 65,000, there are some candles with only 14,000, 6,000. Against 1,000, meaning there are two types of delta. One, those with very high values, large numbers, and two, those with very small numbers, meaning the candles with very low values. Delta is very strong. There has been more buying and selling within those candles. Where there is more buying and selling, a support or resistance is formed there. Okay, and there we get the probability that the market can give us some move. And those candles which have very little buying and selling, those candles do not have the potential to move the market anywhere. So where there is more buying and selling, that's where the potential exists to move the market. So now what we will do is pick those candles that have a heavy delta. Let's say a heavy delta above 30,000. This means any candles with a delta above 30,000. Whether on the positive side or the negative side, we will read those candles. Now let's look at the first candle, which is much more than 30,000 at 148,000. So what happened here is that the delta is on the positive side, it's heavy, meaning a lot of positive delta, which indicates buyers. On the right side, we have buyers on the footprint, and on the left side, we have sellers. So who is more powerful? If buyers are more, then which side's footprint would be better to read? It's simple. If buyers are more powerful, then we read the buyer's side and quickly go through it once. Let's see. This is the buyer's side, and if we look at it once, it's clear that this is the place where the most buying activity has occurred. Okay, who is more powerful? The buyer delta has indicated it, and when we went to the buyer's side, this particular spot emerged in front of us where the most buying activity took place. Okay, so what will we do? Simply, we mark that buying activity. People marked it as the place where the most buying activity happened. Now, here, the most buying activity occurred. Did the next few candles break this buying zone to the upside or not? What does this mean? It means that all the buying activity that took place here was absorbed. In other words, buying activity occurred, but the price did not move up, so that means the buying was absorbed. The second price came down. Okay. Did a decent amount of sellers entering. All right. There was a selling of 62,000. A good amount of selling happened. And what were the selling zones? These were the selling zones. Look here. These were the selling zones where the selling happened. But again within the price. This movement was observed. Okay. And this candle also absorbed this selling, meaning what happened here? One buying was observed. One selling was observed. Now buying. Absorption happened. A decent amount of sellers centering from here. There was a very good bearish opportunity. But what happened here when it came on the pullback? A positive delta was observed around 23K, 25K, slightly around 30K. And the same thing happened in this candle. This candle confirmed that yes, for once buying absorption had happened here. Sellers had also entered decently, but again once more. Buyers attempted here to break this resistance. A decent number of buyers entered here, with a delta of 65K, much above 30K. Okay. Now, within this candle, where are the buyers the most? Here is the buying of 30K. 40K buying. What happened after this buying? The price went up. In the next candle again buying happened. Okay, in the next candle again buying happened. Buying is happening within every candle, and it is coming around 30K, 25K, 20K. Buying of 35K happened within every candle. Aggressive buyers entered and broke the zone of buying absorption. It held well, came back on the pullback. Now why did it pull back here? Because if you look at the slight buying of 38K, buying of 48K, and one buy happened here as well, at 31K, and 24K buying. So if it is holding from here too, without any selling interest, it is holding very well, at the pin-to-pin buying zones. And nowhere are any sellers interested. Nowhere is there even one negative delta, which is also very low at 6,000. A good pullback came, and held the same zone. One upside movement, again with a delta of 35K. Significant buying happened. Buying happened again. Buying happened again. Buying happened again. Meaning the first buying happened here. The initial buying here was absorbed. Significant sellers entered. But when it came back on the pullback, we saw another buying attempt at the buying absorption zone. And this buying attempt broke the buying absorption very well. Buyers entered again. Buyers entered again. Continued positive delta. Okay, look at this. 65K. 20K held where significant buying had happened. Upside movement. Now this is a solid upside movement. It is a solid upside movement because as the price is moving, significant solid buying is coming in. Look at this. Buying of 35K again, 50K bank, 37K buying. Now we also saw one negative delta, around 92K. So now we can say that the price was continuously increasing. Was significant solid buying, but there came a moment where sellers also entered. And where did those sellers position themselves? Look at this. 119K buying, 119,000 aggressive sellers entered here. So what will we do now? It's simple. We will mark this zone. This zone held well, pulled back, and we saw another downside movement. It came back on the pullback again. But this time on the pullback, what did we see? 40K buying activity, meaning look at 12 things, sellers entered. The price came back on the pullback, anywhere positive. Only 14K buying happened. Otherwise look at the negative data of every candle, held this zone for 15 minutes without any buying interest, and one downside movement came back on the pullback again. Now look at this, 40K delta, meaning one heavy buying attempt happened here. Again this buying was absorbed. Another rejection was seen. Another rejection was seen from here. But again one more buying attempt happened. 4K buying activity occurred and broke this zone. And this is the place where buying of TK happened. Taking a pullback right here, Nifty gave its closing. If we take a quick overview of Nifty, what it says is that the first big volume came here, and that volume came on the buying side. But here we saw buying absorption. Sellers entered. But during the pullback, another buying attempt came. Again, buyers entered here. This time, buyers continued buying well and moved the price upwards, meaning there was no buying absorption seen at this time. The price took a pullback and made a significant move, now with continuous solid buying on the side. But this was the candle where we saw solid selling. Okay, which indicated that the trend had ended here, and that's where the pullback came, showing a significant downside. But this time, when we saw a pullback, or a buying attempt again. Moving forward, there was another buying attempt here somewhere, and in the third buying attempt, the sellers broke the buying zone in the plus, holding it there. With 23 candles, there was an upside movement, and taking a pullback, it gave an upside movement in Nifty. In the case of India, there was a buying option, with only 2 buying options observed here, almost at the start, while aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers were quite active everywhere else. If we look at Bank Nifty today, the scenario was very clear. There was no buying attempt seen anywhere. Sorry, buying option. Like the first buying happened here, and in the next candle, buying happened again, and the price moved well. There was a pullback there, but no significant negative delta, just 6 or 3. And if we look at the buying there, 17, 25, 10, 12, 24 was the zone where the first buying happened. The next buying attempts occurred, came on the pullback, and moved one upside. And if we look at Nifty, the buying activity that happened, see, after that, the buying zone did not break. Even within Nifty, like here, the first candle was where a buying attempt happened again. And in the next candle, again a buying attempt. And the price went up from there, which confirmed that the buying absorption did not happen a second time. And here the first buying happened, and the price reversed. So this buying here in Bank Nifty, in the first candle there was buying. In the next candle also buying. The price easily came on the pullback, and with continuous buying, it went into one solid uptrend. Continuous buying continued, wherever buying happened. Like buying at 24K here. Okay. Again buying at 22K. If we look at the buying at 20K and this 22K, in these 2 candles there was buying again. The delta of 24K was a big delta, and in the next candle there was buying around 22K as well. If we look, again, the same bank, now moving sideways. Here it continued. There was almost no selling volume seen today. A continuous uptrend, with only one sell side visible here. For the rest of the day, it remained in a solid uptrend, with continuous buying, and any dips were just pullbacks. When it came here, there was absolutely no buying visible. Buying was done at 24K. Okay, and within this 24K candle, which were the buying zones? Buying occurred at 11K and 14K. It came back there again. There was nothing resembling selling here for the pullback. Within Nifty, there was selling within these candles, which acted as a slight resistance and gave a solid rejection from there. But no such scenario was seen within Bank Nifty. This was the quick analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty these days. Now, for any questions you have, please mute yourself and ask.